Hey, my body, while adorable, is the least interesting thing about me.
I am burnt the fuck out. You know how far you lowered the bar for other people? Like, I have straight up seen you put it on the ground. What's a bar for you up here? And why do you punish yourself harder than anybody else? On those days when you're just feeling weird, just remember that everything's made up. It's all just whatever, and we're allowed to make up new, better stuff. The idea that you got some potential to live up to is made up. I need my brain to stop bullying me into believing that I'm a useless sack of moldy old beans that everybody hates. Some days are just mashed potato brain days. If all you have is 10%, then giving 10% is giving 100%. I don't have the energy to not have the energy to get through this week. Let us believe that we're kick-ass little hotties doing our best brains because that's the facts. Those are the facts. Your destiny is to not be a shitty person and to try to have some fun. Our capacity for bullshit changes.
There's no deadline for figuring out who you are. You're not lost, you're just living.
It's okay to not know what you want. It's okay not to have some all-encompassing purpose or passion.
There's no such thing as lost, that's just living.
Hey, I notice you're beating yourself up and not giving yourself any credit for all the shit you're doing today. I got no wind in my sails. My tank is on empty. Hey, I noticed you were doubting yourself.
I know it's pretty clear that you're a kick-ass little hottie.
Hey, I hope you have the kind of day that doesn't make you cry.
I say nobody likes a butthead.
I'm talking about the way you treat yourself. This week is gonna be my week. I'm gonna kick this week in the ass. You know what I want to be more of?
More happy, more fulfilled, more rested.
Doing nothing when you have a lot to do doesn't make you lazy.
Because laziness doesn't exist. That's just called resting.
I'm sorry if the spaces you've occupied in this world have not been safe spaces for you. Right where you are, whatever you're doing, you're already enough. Happiness isn't hiding somewhere at the end of your things I gotta do in this life based on something society made up one day.
List.
Everything's made up, including that checklist. I'm gonna give them the razzle fucking dazzle, and I'm gonna grab this day by the hand, and I'm gonna say, come on, Day, let's try not to cry, and maybe we'll get some spaghetti.
But your body's not the problem. It's never been the problem. And the least interesting thing about you is your body.
You don't have to put on a brave face all the time. You don't have to have it all together. Sometimes things feel very heavy and very hard, and it feels like the sky's raining poop on your parade. You're here. That's pretty fucking kick-ass. You didn't take the wrong path in life. There's no set path.
That's made up.
And you know you better keep it up, cutie. And tell that butt brain to shove it. You know you better keep it up, cutie.
I'm so freaking proud of you.
You know you better keep it up, cutie.
I'm so freaking proud of you.
Keep it up, cutie. I'm so proud of you. No, you better keep it up, cutie. Because I'm so freaking proud of you.
Before we even begin, I'd like to say that, like, maybe an hour ago, I decided to rewrite my show. That's who I am as a person, I guess. So I just need you to repeat after me before I begin. I solemnly swear. Wow, that's pretty good. To go forth for the rest of my life saying this was the best show I ever saw. Regardless of what happens here today. Thank you. I'm Anna. If you have literally never seen me before, sorry. I like to show you that video just to like give you a teaser. But fair warning, I don't accept criticism, so you just keep that to yourself. But that's it. Everything else you have to talk about your feelings, but not about me. That's different. Hi, cuties. Welcome to Keep It Up, Cutie, a show called Cute as Shit by a guy 2 days ago. So you're really gonna love that. Every time I come out here, first of all, I sweat so much, so just pretend you can't see it. And there's like, screaming, crying, throwing, punch me in the face. It's a TikTok sound. Okay, just forget it. Skip that. I always just really wish that I had like a tangible talent, like I was like a singer or something, but I am simply mentally ill. And so that's what I have here for you today. mental illness on display. So far, so good. So Portland, this is my biggest show ever. I know. So that's pretty fucking cool. By a lot. So no pressure. I feel good. But I'm glad we got the thing out of the way, the disclaimer, so we know where we're going from here. So welcome to the story of how I got here. An event planner from Michigan. Why did I end up on this stage somehow? I just did. No, I want to preface the story by saying that we are all a product of our environment. And I have met my parents' parents. They lived through the Great Depression. They didn't even have memes. They had to live through, World War II. They couldn't even do jokes on TikTok, trauma bond about the girlies getting drafted or anything, right? So it's rough go. And then, they raised the boomers, so we got what we got. And unfortunately, the internet was too late to save us all. So that's where we're going. I was raised by the two most impressive people I've ever met. My parents are elite athletes. My mom is a doctor. My dad is an entrepreneur. My dad has had 2 heart surgeries in the last 3 months. He's here today. My mom is the toughest human I've ever encountered. And so they were competing in the world championships for triathlon in the 80s. My whole life they were coaching and just being really a lot cooler than me, and that is no pressure. I felt no pressure at all whatsoever to be in that house. I felt good. Yeah. So I grew up, and I came out like this, right? Just like this. Just a little bit, not a little. That's really silly. To a fault, almost. Just delusional. A fully delusional person. A sunny disposition from nowhere. We'll never know. And then, you do kind of fall prey to the keep it to yourself and the lifestyle. This is the way it's always been. It's hard for everybody, so it can be hard for you. But that wasn't always the way it was. Almost an alarming number of people in the last week sent me a reel. It was 4-year-olds doing affirmations. And the little girl, she says, I feel powerful when I eat noodles. And my belly is my favorite part of my body because it holds my macaroni. And I was like, oh, is this me? That's who I am to you. I'm the 4-year-old doing the affirmation. I got it. I can be that person for you. Because when I think back on my life, when I try to think of the last time that I did things for myself, the last time I lived for me, and didn't care what other people thought, I probably was 4. A little example, a fun little teaser story for you. I was 4 years old. I was at my best friend Blaine's house, probably his birthday party or his sister's birthday party, not positive. Memories don't serve me. And the party was lame. I was having a terrible time. And I was like, I'm leaving. So I hit the streets. I tell no one. I walk home. I know where I live. It's close enough, but not close enough for a 4-year-old to do it alone, but at my house was the things I liked. My tree and my play set and the things I knew I liked. And I was like, get me out of this lame-ass party. I'm going home. And yeah, that really was the last time before now that I was doing things for myself. And it was... I blanked. I blanked out. There's nothing up here. Gotta check my notes from the show I wrote an hour ago. My God. Let's see. Yeah. So then we're back to you're raised in this household, and it's a keep it to yourself household, and it's a life of butts, and not these, because we didn't have these in the 90s. They're new. Butts are new. Newer than I'd like them to be. We didn't approve butts till recently, but you're so loved, but you're loved in the way that a girl being raised in a household in a society that's deeply ingrained in misogyny in the Midwest can be loved. And you have your 90s girl power, right? That was a big thing. Limited 2 went crazy with girl power, but that's kind of where it ended. You got the t-shirt. And they were like, "Oh, you don't get any power. you get the t-shirt. And don't ask for anything else, okay? And you can be anything you want to be, but it has to be the right thing, and it has to be appropriate, and it has to be good enough, and it definitely can't be the arts." Yeah, so that's out of the picture. I spent every minute of every day of my entire life being afraid to disappoint anybody ever about everything. Is that not relatable? No. You felt good. No, you weren't afraid? Yeah, teach me your ways. And so it was easier to adopt the keep it to yourself lifestyle, really, to just sort of hole up and become the person I thought I was supposed to be. And I think of an example. I'm 18. My cousin's getting married. He's the first one in the family. He's probably like 22, Michigan. You know how it is. And, sorry. Catholic, the whole bit. We've got it all. And, he's marrying this gal, and she just says what's on her mind. And if something's bothering her, she will tell you. And she just says what she wants. And that is chaos to me. And I look at my other cousin, and I was like, she will never make it in this family. She doesn't know how to keep it to herself. And I love her so much. She's the most amazing person in the world, obviously, now. A little deconstruction has to happen. We're on that journey. We're getting there. Whew, so how does that get us here, right? See you? I don't know how old you are because I can't see your faces. And even then, I don't know how old you are. That's not appropriate to guess, I think. I don't know. We're going rogue today. We're going rogue. But do you remember the early 2000s at all? Like, were you there? Okay. We had this obsession with putting thin people on the cover of magazines and calling them fat. It was like we were doing it constantly. Jessica Simpson, she was up there. They were not nice to her. And first of all, why? And second of all, who the fuck cares? Unfortunately for me, I cared a lot. Yeah, so, right. So I remember being 6 years old, and I'm on a boat with my grandparents, and I look down and I can see my belly, like I can now. Lady Belsky, cute as heck. She houses my macaroni. Can't be mad at that. But I'm 6 and I look down and I can see my belly and I'm very aware, and I go to find a shirt to put on because I want to cover up, because I care that someone can see my belly, because I know that that's not right. It is right. Show them. I'm talking about then. I got a parkour brain. Point A to point B to L. All in a row. Never learned the alphabet. And I remember being 7 years old, and I walked into my house, and there was cupcakes. And I don't know if you're gathering a vibe here, but we weren't really a treats household. It's the vibes of the times in my family. And I look at it, and I go, Dad, can I have a cupcake? Like, what the fuck are they doing here? And he said, you can have a cupcake if you go for a run or a walk. And it's one time in my life, right? It's one thing one person said to me one time, and I cared a lot. And I am nine or 10, and I'm visiting my cousin for the weekend, and we eat a bunch of so many treats. And we watch movies, we eat so much candies. And I come home, and my mom looks at me, and she goes, how can you possibly gain that much weight in one weekend? Like, and you know, the disappointment is palpable. This is where you're like, is this a comedy show, or what's happening here? And to that I say, I don't know. So, good luck to us all here today. And the list goes on, there's more, sorry. I'm 12, and we're gonna go to the pool with my grandma. And my cousin Amy, she's older than me. You know your older cousin, they're like very cool. And she has a two-piece she's gonna let me borrow, and I've never worn a two-piece before, and I'm fucking stoked. I put it on, I look rockin'. And my grandma comes in, and she's like, gives me the up down. She's like, you do not have the body for that. And I changed back into my black one piece, like a keep it to yourself good girl. And I remember Michael Zervos in 7th grade. Fuck you, Michael. At painting class, he's like, thunder thighs. And I was like, Michael Zervos, someday you're gonna try to have a TikTok career and it's not gonna take off. And I'm gonna laugh in your face. And then I'm gonna, that's not nice. You shouldn't be cheering. That's so mean. This poor Michael. I slander his name nightly. God. And I remember my older neighbor, older girls, a theme, no. And she told me that I could be skinny. And she taught me how to diet. Isn't that so nice of her? And she taught me that if all I ate was grapes and drank Diet Coke, then I would be skinny too. So that was good. And definitely caused no problems for me down the road. And I remember being 16 and writing 102 on the palm of my hand every day because that was the weight I had to stay at to keep my times real fast because I was an athlete because I was going to become what I thought I was supposed to be, and that was what I was destined to do. And then I could look down at my hand if I was going to eat a snack and change my mind and eat some ice cubes instead. Listen, you have to laugh because if you don't, you'll cry. That's the comedy part. It's just a story. And I just remember, and I really fucking cared a lot, every person in every room I was in for like my whole life was talking about bodies. Everybody. They're talking about their bodies and their friends' bodies and the people and the famous people's body. It's like, no fucking wonder we all got a little bit screwed up. I don't want to say everybody, okay? Because I know some people are well adjusted. And although there are 200 people in this room who came to see me, so they're not here, but I know they exist. Perhaps you brought one here today. Again, I'm sorry. I married one, so it's all good. Well-adjusted people are cool. Something to aspire to. Wow. And so, yeah, I cared a lot. So we've reached our first time machine moment here today. It's not even that bad of a time machine, because we're really only jumping from, 16. And Andy hates the time machine, so tell him you loved it, okay? That's it. It's not that cool, but I'm 19. I am a track and cross country athlete. In college. I'm on a half ride for academics and athletics. I kept it to myself so hard. And yeah, thank you. And I was determined. I was never gonna let anybody see me sweat. I was doing it. I was really gonna be perfect forever and never let anybody see me not be that way. Except for now, everybody, literally every day. On the web. put it out there. Anyways, wowee. So I get injured, right? And for me, that's kind of, I lost my identity and I lost my path, and I didn't know, it was life-shattering for a 19-year-old who had literally only ever known one thing, being good at school and being good at running. And you're like, oh, cool. I lost my scholarship, so now I don't go to school, and I also don't run. A cool and fun thing, though, you can laugh. It's all good. My very last college cross-country race was in Oregon. I forgot about that until literally yesterday. Selective memories. Yeah, cool. No, but I was already injured at that time, and it was one of our last races of the season, and they said, just come out with us and see what happens, and it went bad. And, yeah. But you're talking about the things I heard about, and I had sat down with that same cross-country coach, and he had asked me about my goals. And I said I wanted to lose weight. And he said, that sounds like a good idea. What was in the water in the early 2000s? What were we doing? And I'm spending my whole life, I'm begging somebody to tell me I'm okay, right? I'm just like, can one person be like, you look good, maybe even fine, or okay? No? Yeah. And so I'm injured, and physical therapy's not working. So weird, because I don't know if you've gathered, I may or may not have been severely malnourished at the time. We'll get to it. Yeah. So I'm, look at all this writing I did. Oh my God. I was scribbling away in there. I had to ask for a highlighter, then I lost my pen, changed colors. It's a whole thing. So I'm losing control, which is my biggest fear. It's still my biggest fear, and I'm losing my identity, which is impossible at any age, but it's especially impossible when you're a teenager. And so I do what any sound decision-making 19-year-old does, and I run away to Florida. Because the thing that I needed most in that moment was booze, boys, and beaches. The first thing I learned quickly is that when you run away, you bring yourself. It's always you. Unfortunately, I was the problem. It wasn't my life. Oh, so it goes really good. All right. It does. So 10 months later, I'm sitting in front of a kind woman named Fran at an inpatient treatment facility for eating disorders. You laugh because if you... Thank you. If you don't laugh, you cry. Right. And I've got osteopenia, right? I'm on my way to osteoporosis. And I don't have a reproductive system anymore. And I'm severely anemic. And they're like, you know you're going to die? And I said, no, I actually don't know anything about myself, right? I'll make a joke for you so you can all calm down, because I can tell this story's traumatic for you. I lived it, but okay. That was kind of funny. Okay. I like to tell you the story about not knowing myself, because it's been a common theme in my life. And this is a few years ago, pre-pandemic, because I'm a new person. If you're wondering how I got to who I am now, that was recently. So it's going to take a while to get there in our story. And I'm trying to buy a car on Carvana, and I failed the identity exam to get a loan, not once, not twice, but 3 times. They make you do it in person the 3rd time. And the guy, you could see it on his face. He's like, are you sure that's your answer? And I was like, bro, I'm just guessing as best as I can here. Do I know where I lived? Apparently not. What's my highest level of education? Obviously, I am not sure. Do you know any of these people? So I'm banned from buying cars on Carvana because I am a fraud risk. The joke is on them. Because then I made a new account with my husband's name and information. I passed his identity exam on the first try. And then I actually committed fraud. So they were actually right about me. She is a fraud risk. And now my husband owns my car. It's a whole thing. Right? Wow. Okay, but there we are. I'm sitting in front of this woman. And I wish that, like, I always wish that this story was, like, more noble, right? Like, I knew I had an eating disorder, and I hit rock bottom, and I knew I needed eating disorder help. And I was like, no, I'm not getting all A's, and I can't keep everything straight, and things are slipping, and I need someone to help me get everything perfect again. So that's why I find myself here for a mental health consultation. Mind you, I had to Google mental health because I don't know what the fuck that is. I was just like, something's wrong with me. I don't really know. I'm just gonna. I read a thing that said you could get your tuition canceled if a psychiatrist said that you had problems. So, listen, a lot of things led me to where I am today. So I'm sitting in front of Fran. Shout out, she's a real one. And she's looking at me, and I'm telling her my life story. And her eyes are getting bigger and bigger. And she's looking at me like, you know, she's like, what, this poor girl? What is she talking about? And I was like, everything's fine. It's all good. It's just like, and she's like, ma'am. She's like, you live here now. Here's the telephone. Call your family. She's like, because, girl, you have got an eating disorder. And you have had it for a long time. She's like 7 or 8 or 9 years. And I said, that can't be. But maybe you're right. I thought about it a little and I was like, oh, you know what? That actually tracks. That actually does track. It wasn't clicking for me because I wasn't real familiar with eating disorders. Because all I ever learned about them was like one video in health class. And it was like a girl and she threw up and kept the jars in her closet. I'm sorry for telling you that story. But I had to see it, so now you know. And I was like, I don't do that. And she's like, oh no, you poor girl. Yeah, and what a time it was. Because I really got like this whirlwind introduction to something I'd literally never heard of, right? Now I have a therapist and a psychiatrist. And I'm going to the doctor, which I haven't done since I was like 12, a kid. I don't know. Seems like people should have worried more. I don't know. I don't know the answers, right? Oh my gosh. How's everybody doing? Thanks for being here. I forgot where we are. That's why I'm asking you. Let's see. The 3 B's, boys, right? It ends us. We got here. But it really was the first time ever, regardless of why, I showed up for myself. I knew something was wrong, and I asked for help, and I got help. And yeah, I know, it's cool. It's kick-ass to get help. Woo! My parents promptly drove down and tried to take me home because they're like, you got to keep this to yourself. That's what we do here. You can laugh, okay, because we're past it now. This is a story of a time because I'm a little older now. I'm almost 40. Yeah. Yeah. I have got the back problems to prove it. I'm sorry I'm playing with this cord. I bet it's distracting. Imagine living in my brain. That's a trip. Truly a trip. We're all over the place. And I'm always bringing myself with me. Something. But yeah, and so I'm 19 and I live in a treatment facility for a month or so, and then I never do anything wrong again, and my life goes perfectly. And that's it. That's the show. I know. I'm the key part about that story is that I'm 19 and I'm an idiot. Adorable. But still a teenager. So I'm like, I have so many skills now. I have like one skill. I can eat now. Like, I truly, and I'm on antidepressants. Okay, so I have 2 skills. I'm much less sad, and I don't know how to say satiated. I've eaten something. Isn't that nice? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm cured. So I'm gonna go back to my life and do it exactly the same. Did you see that coming? Because I did. Yeah, so I get the degree and I go right into it. I get the job that I cry at, and then you work hard and you finally get the car that you cry in. And then you work a little even harder, and then you get the house that you cry in. And you might even upgrade and get a cool mattress for the first time in your life, like a fancy one, to cry in. And yeah, I went for it. I unfortunately, as you may have gathered, just trying to be perfect in one way, and then I just tried to do it in a different way. Work-life balance couldn't be me. I was like, I'm gonna get married and take one day off. Watch me. I can have no free time. It's a bummer. But you can laugh because it's true, unfortunately. So that's my life, right? I spent all this time checking the boxes because I was determined that at the end of the list, that's where happiness was. And instead I just had more places to cry. Because unfortunately, I was the problem. It wasn't any of the other things. Yeah. So back into my time machine. It's not a very good time machine. It doesn't take us anywhere cool. You might want to take that back. It's March of 2020. And you might be like, wow, you jumped really far. And it's like, I literally can't tell you what happened between 19 and 2020. I just worked. That's it. I just worked. And I was home for like 1 minute a day. That's it. No life, no friends, just work and crying. Cool. Oh my gosh, everyone's gotten quieter and it makes me very stressed. Is it because the story's serious? Or has it gotten less fun here? Oh my gosh, okay. Oh, okay, there you go. I bet you've never been to a show where people asked for constant validation throughout it. No? It is fun to know me. I'm a treat. So 2020 rolls round. I've been working my tush off. We're having a great year. Things are looking good. I've recently purchased the company that I started working for like one day after I graduated college. I mean, again, I purchased an event planning company. Do you recall do you remember the pandemic? Do you remember what happened when there was a pandemic? When they made us go to our houses and there was no events? And that was my job? Oh, well, there it is. I lost my job and I lost my money and I lost my identity again. And I sat there and said, oh shit, what the fuck did I do with my whole life? I am 32 years old at that point. And I was like, oh, good. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like. I don't even know what I like to do because all I do is go to my job. I have no friends because all I do is go to my job. You should just make some noise or something. And for the first time in my life, literally the first time in my life, I had time. There's nothing scarier than having time to be with yourself. Because I kept my life going so fast, so there was never any time to ask why you were doing things or how come you were doing things. And you know, I really did believe that it's hard for everybody, so it's hard for you, and that's fine. Because I didn't have time to think, why? What? That kind of sounds weird. And so, yeah, I had no identity and no more boxes and no checklist. And I met me. Not like employee me, not boss me, not wife me. Just like Anna. And you know who I was? That freaking 4-year-old. I really was. Fucking delusional. This isn't the abridged version, okay? There was also a lot of lying around crying. But at the end of the tunnel, you know, once you're done crying, you're like, shit, I have nothing, and I'm the exact same amount of miserable I was when I had everything. Everything is silly. And I reconnected with that 4-year-old me, and I got to really reconnect with my sunny disposition for no reason. And I got to reconnect with my just unbridled belief that everybody is better than they actually are. I have this, yeah, I know. It's very strange. I don't know where it comes from. Thank you. That's what nature versus nurture. I got that from up there. Yeah. And I realized how much I really, really, really fucking hated the grind. I had never stopped, and I was like, oh shit, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do any of it. Did you guys know you can just sit in a chair outside? You can. You take a chair and you put it outside and you just sit in it. That's the activity. I'm not kidding. You might think I'm joking. Did you know about naps? I learned about naps. You just take them. And you can just play video games. And you can just, you can just like get a Pokemon Go and start a Discord and have hundreds of friends in there. You just like play Pokemon Go for fun. And there's just so many things you can do. And I love rest. And I freaking hate being busy. And yeah, I know, joke's on me. But this is fun, okay? Even if I threw up and cried today because I was scared to come out here. Jeez, you're very nice to me. But I just learned that you can redefine everything in your life, and I was like, oh, this is all fucking made up. All of it. And I never had the time to think about that before. And I was spending like 14 to 16 hours a day on TikTok, just like wildly deconstructing everything I've ever known. And I was like, I could do this. Delusion. I was like, why not me? And so the first 13 days I was posting on TikTok, I was posting like day one of pretending I have followers until I do. And then I was just acting like other people acted on TikTok. Like I was just being like pretending to reply to comments that weren't there. And like, you know. And that is called manifesting. Look it up. Yeah, for sure. And on one fateful day, like I was just sort of tinkering around, wasn't really sure what I was doing. And then on fateful Thanksgiving of 2020, Andy was in the bathroom, and I at that point I was like recording in secret, I didn't want anyone to see. And so he had gone to the bathroom, and I was like, how do we tell them that we're never coming back to Thanksgiving because it's so fun at home alone where nobody makes you cry? And it went crazy. And I was like, that's it. That's my job now. I'm just telling life is online. Because they really seem to like it. But as my community grew and as I don't want to say I was forced, but as I was, trying to move into this space, it really put me in a position where I had to learn and grow because otherwise I didn't have anything new to say. And slowly over time, even if you go back and watch, my early content to now, there's like this shift, of this very miserable girl. You might notice I manifest less now, and it's because all my fucking dreams are coming true. And because in real time on the internet, you watched me change my own life. You watched me grow. You watched me come into my own and become this person that I had never even dreamed of being. And I learned that I really am all I get in this world. And why wouldn't I do everything I could to make this the life I wanted it to be? Yeah. And that it was okay to walk away from things. And I had always lived in this belief that, my life was set in stone. And this is the way it has to be because this is the way it's always been. And nothing's set in stone, right? We literally dig up dinosaurs. It's fucking crazy. When I think about it, I'm like, oh, you can't actually set something in stone. You just get a little jackhammer and treat your life that way, right? And and I really started to believe because for the first time in my life I was happier. And it kind of showed me that I really didn't have to know what I was doing. I really didn't have to have it all together. I didn't have to know where I was going. I didn't have to know what comes next. And that there really wasn't any shame in being lost. I was just existing. I was living, and it was, I don't know. I have a lot of feelings. I'm the girl from Mean Girls. She just has a lot of feelings. And she just wants everybody to be happy. And yeah, that's, gotta check my time. Okay, we're getting there. And so this is the sappy part, isn't that fun? And so for everybody who has been told you're so strong, I am so sorry. I hate that. I wish we didn't have to be strong. I wish, we got to be soft and fluffy and relaxed, and you didn't have to hard win any of those lessons. That breaks my heart, and it's why I share what I do, because if I can stop one person from potentially ruining their life, I don't know, it's a lot of pressure, but here we are. And I'm sorry that you have to be strong, and I'm sorry that your skin is so thick because the world's so the way that it is. It's existing is a nightmare and all that. No? That's part of the sappy part of the show. We're on to the blue pen. But I don't want anybody else to have to hard win these lessons, and it bums me out that they have, right? And I really want to keep showing up for you and keep repeating myself over and over again, in hopes that people are listening. And I really do live by my 2 rules, right? Don't be a shitty person, try to have some fun. It's pretty simple. And I think sometimes we overthink happiness and we overthink fun, and I think it's in the little tiny things. It's in the little tiny moments. It's in the little moment yesterday in the car when Andy and I are both slap happy and both of us have different accents for no reason. And you're like, that's it. That's why I'm on this earth. I'm on this earth for those little tiny moments where we just have fun. And fuck anybody who tries to make you feel silly for liking what you like or wearing what you like. And and showing up for yourself. And I just, this is your life, right? This, as it would turn out, it's my life. And I'm finally trying to live it for me. Because it's motherfucking us season. Yeah, that's the end of the show. But it's not over because Thomas, I forgot to tell you that we're doing a Q&A, and now you have to ask me questions because I did a lot of talking, and now it's your turn to do some talking. And so I'll eat a little time to give you time to come up with something to ask, and then I'm going to look around. I can hardly see you, but I can go over here, and then I can see you better. And then you're going to raise your hand and tell me a question. No pressure. Okay.
When did you come up with the idea to pull your vacuum cleaner out?
I always wish it was like a cool, and like that I really was this person who's like doing these visuals for like feelings. Someone will comment and be like, I really do feel like a vacuum in a grill. And I'm like, that's, yeah. It's totes what I meant. Not that I have a yard full of trash. No, it's a pretty short story. There was a load of stuff we put on a car trailer to take to the dump, and then someone had to borrow the car trailer, so they shoved all the trash off of it, and here we are. That vacuum doesn't work. How did I met my husband the old-fashioned way, the actual old-fashioned way. Party, bar, one life stand. My parents are here, okay? Just keep it casual. Don't make it weird. Pink arm.
How are your puppies?
I don't know. I miss them very much. I'm having a very hard time without them. And every time I see a dog, I almost lose my mind. Yeah.
What's your spirit animal?
Oh, I don't use the term spirit animal because it's a little bit appropriating. But we don't like to appropriate other people's cultures, and I'm very white. So, an animal that I resonate with is puppies, I would say. If I had to pick one that feels like me, puppies, or myself, I guess.
I really like your boots. I just wanted to say that they're really cute.
Thank you. They're falling apart a little because I cut the backs with a razor blade. Because I'm a woman existing in a body. And they're coming unglued. Because I was crafting on $270 boots. Like a maniac. Yeah, cool. They're from Betsy Johnson. They don't exist anymore. It's a real bummer. They have them, but they're shorter now. For my future? Rest. Here, I'll tell you my least favorite questions that everybody always asks, but you seem to be not on it today. And I showed up here partially ready to go, so I can't believe you didn't show up with a long list of questions for me. I hit my tooth on that. That's gross. Anyways, I forgot where I was going. What would you tell your younger self? I'd punch her in the face. What's your favorite thing about yourself? I'm delusional. I can't think of the other ones. I know there's other questions I hate.
Gonna be a little inside baseball here, but as a former event planner to an event planner who's having a rough go of it,
Yeah.
what was your favorite part of the job?
So I'm still an event planner because I am scared shitless. My biggest fear is not being financially secure. So I still work full time. Yeah, what's my favorite thing about my job though? My staff. It's not. Events are a grind. It is not an easy job. It is a customer service job, but it's also a physical job. So it is like, when people say they want to do my job, I'm like, do you? You should think hard. They're like, it must be so fun. And I'm like, So when it's over, it's very fun. It's just a job. That's the difference now. Like, my job was my whole life, and now my job is my job. And people always ask me, like, what's changed about your life? And I say nothing but my mindset. And that's really the truth. Yeah.
Here in Portland, we keep it weird. What's the weirdest thing you plan on doing here?
The real bummer that I'm learning, so I'll just tell you a story. Obviously, I didn't plan to be a person who goes on tour. That's fucking crazy. I didn't realize that you get to be in every city for like 30 minutes. People are like, oh, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I'm gonna go to the hotel, and I'm gonna go to sleep. I couldn't find a fork, so I couldn't even eat my birthday cake here. And I was last night eating it with a coffee stirrer. I was like, please, just let me have this cake. So it's different. It's different. It's a learning curve, I think. Yeah. But so far in Portland, I went to Nordstrom Rack.
No sales tax.
And somebody told me there was no sales tax. And I bought some clothes that I didn't end up wearing, so that was a great use of my time. And we went to Patty's because it was next to Nordstrom Rack. And then I came here. And tomorrow I have to leave because I have a show in Seattle. Yeah. But after this, I'm going to go sleep. I used to, in the beginning, I would go out after, and now I'm like, my bones are creaking.
How has your mental health journey impacted how you run your company?
I'm almost too good at delegating. How's that? I'm very good at giving things away because I'm constantly overwhelmed. Yeah, I would say I abuse my delegation privileges for my own mental health. Sorry, everybody else at work. They don't seem to, I don't know, they probably want me to drop dead. They're very nice. They're my favorite people in the world.
How have your parents responded to not keeping it to yourself?
Where are my parents? Over there. How do you feel about me not keeping it to myself?
I think it's awesome.
I get bonus points for doing this in front of my parents, right? Thank you. I live for bonus points and shroot bucks, you know? I'm living the dream. Oh boy. We still have time if anybody else has questions. Oh.
Do you know how people in the room are going with you to Portugal?
Who in the room is going with me to Portugal? Who in the room works at Trophy Trip? No, sorry. I didn't mean to call you out. That's amazing. There was somebody in San Francisco was also... Yeah. How fun is that? Oh, yeah, she told me you were coming here today. I remember now. I remember this. We chatted. You, blonde hair. Thanks.
My daughter is 19 and in eating disorder right now.
Oh my gosh.
What advice would you give
Don't rush back into it. Don't rush back to your life. I think I didn't listen. There was definitely a suggestion to not rush back to your life. And I said, nah. I'm going to go get a job and take too many classes. But yeah, I would say like take it easy. Like you're 19, just give it a rest. Yeah, I don't know. That would have been nice, like a little breather in between. But no, I was like, nah, I can't do that. Got to be good at something new. What a life.
Have you had to fire anybody?
Nope. Well, technically everybody in the pandemic, but didn't hit as hard because it was everybody. It was on a Zoom though, which is... It was on a Zoom with the whole staff. Hey, by the way, we don't have jobs anymore. So sorry.
How did you get started in stand-up specifically?
Is this stand-up? I didn't plan to do stand-up. I think it's kind of funny, actually. When I was in college, I was a bartender, and I had more than one person ask me if I was a stand-up comedian, and I was like, no. And they're like, your timing is so weird for serving a table. And I was like, I think I'm just terrified of existing, and that's the way things come out of my mouth. I'm scared of everything. It's the trauma. Yeah. Why are you funny? Long story. I'll write it someday.
Can you tell us about your book?
Oh my gosh. I have a book. It's called Keep It Up Cutie, a not quite self-help book. I sold out of them, unfortunately, for on the tour, sorry. Because we had them, because I still struggled to believe in myself. And so I only bought 60. Which I recognize as, now I recognize that we sold out in 2 shows. And I said, oh, Anna, once again, underestimated yourself, like I do. But it's available everywhere on the web, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores. It has stickers. That's the best part, I'd say. No, it's like walking through my brain, so that's a little scary. It's really colorful and very chaotic, but it's a not quite self-help book. And people say, why is it a not quite self-help book? It's because I am not qualified. I'm an event planner. I'm making it up as I go along. I'm just telling you how I'm doing it, and then if you want to do it that way too, you can. So that's the book. It's 144 pages of thoughts. So you should buy it for sure. Oh, not a raised hand, just a snip snap. I love it.
When was your birthday?
The 24th. So I don't know, 2 days ago. You may sing me happy birthday if I may record it. Okay, great. Okay, everybody begin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anna. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. What a great... I realized I probably didn't even tell you my name was Anna. I think I missed that part of the intro. Oh, it's on the tickets. Okay, there you go. Great. I'm Anna, by the way. Anna P. My husband's last name is 10 letters, no vowels. I didn't know that I was going to be a person who got on stages. I would have maybe rethought that. Nobody can say it. I can't say it. Okay, I know they said no phones, but take out your phones because I'm going to say some stuff And then you get to take this with you forever. Well, if you want it, you don't have to. I don't want to pressure you. It gets so quiet when you're all watching me. Okay. I'm panicking. You're not usually looking at me when I say it. And you better keep it up, cutie, because I'm so freaking proud of us. And you don't have to have it all together. You don't have to know where you're going. You don't have to have anything figured out. And you're not less than when you're lost. And thank you for coming out. I love you so much. And that's it. You can stop recording now. If you have meet and greet, there's a ledge there. Just stay here. We're going to take pictures here. I'm sorry about the bridge, if that's bringing up some stressful feelings for you in these troubling times when boats are hitting bridges. Sorry. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, wait. Yeah, I want to record you clapping. Thank you. Oh, that's my best show yet, too, by the way. Based on something.